Hello, fellow Chinese teachers. Let's take a look at the national picture of the GCSE performance in Chinese from one exam board only. Listen up, this is only Edexcel. Alright, let's take a look at this on the top of the screen first. According to the Results Plus, this is the official platform from Pearson Edexcel, we got 4,896 candidates entered for this year's Chinese, be it Cantonese, traditional, simplified, combined together 4,896 candidates. Now, if you're looking at this, the Mandarin the Chinese results is always outperforming the other languages. That's why a lot of times we have to make the Chinese paper more difficult. There's a significant reason behind this. I'll show you why. So let's just take a look at the proportion, the grade distribution. For the whole cohort, about 65% of the total candidates achieved a grade 9. That's more than half the cohort. And that's actually, if you ask Ofqua, and if you're talking about the standardization between the languages in MFL, and that's going to raise questions. And that's also why, as Chinese teachers, we need to prepare ourselves with some strong arguments at how we're working, how much is the proportion of the MEP students with intensive Mandarin learning, and another very significant factor is that how big is the cohort of the native speakers. In almost in a dominating role out of the 4,896 candidates. Now let's talk about 7, 8, 9 grades. 7 is 7%, 15%, and that is combined together 22% and 65%, and that's 87% of the whole cohort achieve all that grade. And the people who are achieving lower than grade 6 are quite minimum. So, I never encourage the Chinese teachers to compare your own result to other schools' results. It's never, especially in this country, especially for this subject, it's never a fair comparison. Especially, it's not a comparison of the teacher's teaching abilities. Alright? Now, why? Because, for example, it has a breakdown of secondary selective schools. Now, I don't know the current what's the map about all the selective schools that offer Mandarin who have chosen Edexcel as an exam board. But according to the official data, only 78 candidates has been entered from the selective sector. And if you're looking at the distribution, national overall 65% grade 9, and this is 69% for the selective. And that's why I'm saying that do not compare your school results with another teacher's results, because they might teach in a selective school. The students' intake are absolutely different. Alright, so you can see 65% nationally and 69% in the selective school sector. And obviously that in the selective sector, the 8 and 9 combined together is in a dominating role. And if you're looking at the comprehensive sector, we got 68%. Actually, if you look at it, the comprehensive school teachers, in my humble opinion, and they are better teachers. Not really. I'm just saying, and I'm raising a fact in that it's like secondary school, comprehensive schools, the total grade 9 percentage 69 comparing to 68 comparing to 69. It doesn't happen in other subjects. The variation between the selective sector and comprehensive sector in other subjects are huge. So well done, a huge shout out to the Mandarin teachers working early mornings, late evenings, deliver the MEP, with intensive learning, intensive care almost, with emotion and physical delivery to this subject. So I really appreciate it. I grew up China, I'm Chinese, and I really appreciate all the people fighting in the front guard of teaching this subject to such a high standard level. And then you have the independent. Independent center doesn't mean the people coming from independent schools. These are combined from independent centers. As you can see, Let me have a breakdown here. So my school only got 3 candidates, so it's not comparable at all. And then if you look at 78 total candidates from secondary selective sector grammar schools, and then you have the comprehensive schools, about 646 candidates. That's a very large number. And then you got the independent sectors and independent centers, and these are 1066 candidates. Now, I can't tell you who exactly are in this sector. However, there's a large number of native speakers. A lot of centers are not based in the UK. A lot of centers are based overseas, where those countries have a number or a significant number of candidates who actually communicate in Chinese at home as a maybe second language, but they have the advantage. So that's why we can use that as argument that somehow, I know people don't like to use the word inflated, but the Chinese, the subject specifics, the grade is inflated somehow. Number one, we got a huge proportion of native speakers. Number two, we nationally we have more than maybe 70 schools that are on the MEP project, and the people who have received intensive, outstanding quality of teaching is high, and that's why we see great results. Just to overcap my delivery here, you have the national picture here. 65% achieving grade 9. Wow. And combined together, most of the people are actually the significant dominant candidates achieve 7 above. So huge well done. And my fact for another point is that do not compare your teaching with other teachers' teaching. I've seen the best teaching in some of the most challenging comprehensive schools, and I see some, almost alright teaching in selective schools and independent schools. So every single one of us who are wholeheartedly delivering Mandarin Chinese in the mainstream curriculum, huge well done for this year. And that's just my brief recap on 2023 results from Pearson and Edexcel. And if you can make a similar video for the AQA, that would be much appreciated. Any questions, let me know, and leave a comment, subscribe. Bye bye for now.